Let's take up the next news article. Here we go. Take a look at this text and context article. It highlights the significance of RTA Act in promoting the transparency and accountability in India, but also raises concerns about the political challenges that have emerged in recent times. In this context, let us discuss about the recent amendments made in the RTA Act and how it affects the right to information. See, the Right to Information Act was enacted in 2005. Is a powerful tool for citizens to access the information from the government. It has helped to expose the corruption, it improve the public services and hold public officials accountable. For example, in 2010, RTA Act was used to expose a scam involving sale of fake degrees by government universities. And in 2012, RTA Act was used to expose corruption in allocation of government contracts. However, in recent times, there has been a concerns that RTA Act is becoming less effective. This is due to recent amendments made in the RTA by the Digital Personal Data Protection Act of 2023. Let us see how this amendment affects the transparency of RTA Act. As you all know, the Right to Information Act allows the citizens to access information from the government, but it prohibits the disclosure of personal data of the citizens unless there is an overriding public interest. The Digital Personal Data Protection Act of 2023 amended these the qualified prohibition into a total prohibition. This means that if the public information officer decides not to disclose the information, he will simply relate it to some person and deny the providing of information. Essentially, this act indirectly gives power to deny information solely on the ground of being personal information. With this amendment, the majority of the information, with the exception of the budget, can be denied to the citizens. So the right to information would essentially become right to deny information. Consequently, this change would make the RTA very ineffective. The National Campaign for People's Right to Information was argued that this amendment would make it impossible to carry out social audits. Here, social audits means it verifies whether the beneficiary of the government program are actually receiving the benefit. National Campaign for People's Right to Information also argues that the amendment would be used by powerful public officials to evade their accountability. For example, an official who is accused of corruption could invoke the total prohibition on disclosing the personal information. Likewise, past amendments to RTA Act has also raised concerns. For example, right to information among Amendment Act 2019 gave the government unilateral power in deciding the service condition and tenure of the information commissioners. This gives the government too much control over the RTA Act officials and could make it more difficult for citizens to access the information from the government. Moving forward, we shall see what are all the challenges faced in the implementation of RTA Act. One of the concerns is that RTA Act does not require the applicants to provide a reason for seeking information. This means that anyone can file a RTA request even if they don't have the legitimate interest in the information. This has led to some people filing RTA Act for non-serious reasons, such as to harass, to intimidate the public officials. The next important challenge is the huge backlogs of cases due to an insufficient number of information commissioners at the central level, and there is a high backlogs and delay in hearing of the cases. Further, because of poor quality, incomplete and inaccurate information, filing of appeal increases significantly under the RTA Act. Also, RTA Act does not specify a time limit within which the second appeal to the Central Information Commission must be heard. This means the CAC has the discretion to decide how long it take to hear an appeal. Due to this, applicants has to wait for months in order to have his or her case heard by the Central Information Commissioner. Another concern is that RTA Act does not require applicants to have a local standing, whereas where local standing is the legal right to bring a case in the court. This means that anyone can file a RTA request even if they are not directly affected. This has led to some for people filing RTA requests for their own personal interest rather than for the public interest. The next important challenge is that lack of public awareness in Indian public awareness regarding uh, right as well as regarding the right as well as the duty is very low. The reasons behind are lack of educational awareness. For example, awareness is becoming low among rural areas and among the disadvantaged communities. The next major concern is lack of power. The information commissioner have the power to give directions to public authorities to take necessary steps to comply with act. However, they do not have the power to enforce their direction. This means that if the public authority ignores the direction of the information commission, the information commission cannot do anything about it. The last challenge is the misuse of RTA Act. The misuse of RTA Act can have a number of negative consequences. It can divert the time of public servants. It will also adversely affect their work. It can also discourage the public officials from being transparent and accountable. These are all some of the challenges in the implementation of Right to Information Act. Now, what can be done to overcome these challenges? Firstly, the government can take steps to disclose the information via internet, and the government institution should make all permissible information available on their website. This way, the people can quickly access the information they need, and it will also save the government. Secondly, the government can take steps to prevent the duplication of requests. Many people fail multiple requests for the same information using RTA Act. This puts extra effort on the government departments. We should have a system to stop this duplicate request. Thirdly, steps must be taken to prevent the misuse of RTA. To prevent the misuse of RTA, people should have to explain why they want the information. When they file a request, there should be a penalty for those who seek information for irrelevant or unnecessary reason. Fourthly, a balance must be ensured between the right to information and right to privacy. We have a right to privacy as protected by our Constitution under Article 21. We need to find a balance between right to know and right to privacy. Within the RTA Act, the fifth one is a government must take steps to increase public awareness. We can make more people aware of their rights to information by running campaign on TV, radio, newspaper. This can be mainly done in rural areas using different regional languages. It is important to take all these factors into account when considering the ways to improve the RTA Act. The goal here should be to create a law that allows the citizens to access the information they need while protecting their privacy rights. In conclusion, recent amendments to RTA Act has raised concerns about the ability of the citizens to access information from the government. It is important to ensure that RTA Act remains a powerful tool for citizens' empowerment. So that's all regarding this discussion. In this discussion, we saw the importance of Right to Information Act. We saw how the recent amendments has reduced the effectiveness of the Right to Information Act. Then we saw the challenges in implementing right to information. And finally, steps that can be taken to address the challenges. Now, with this, let us conclude this discussion and take up the next news article. Look at this news article. According to this news article, National E-Governance Division, that is NEGD of the Electronics Ministry, is set to integrate the personalized adaptive learning, that is PAL, into DIKSHA portal. Here PAL is a software based approach. It will allow each students to have an individualized learning experience over the course of curriculum based on their unique needs and abilities. This is about the news article given here. In this context, let us quickly go through the DIKSHA portal and some of the other e-learning initiatives in India. See in India, there are over 10 million teachers. Each one has to deal with students who has diverse and complex background and learning levels in the Indian classroom. So in order to help students achieve their full potential, teachers should be a better position to deliver the meaningful instructions to the students. For that, capacity building of the students is required. That is, teachers should have easy access to teaching and learning resources and opportunities to develop professionally. The national teacher platform that is NPT, which is branded DIKSHA, provides this opportunity for their teachers. It is an initiative of Ministry of Education. It was launched in 2017. DIKSHA is a short form of digital infrastructure for knowledge sharing. It is a state-of-art platform built to host the open educational resources and tools for teachers in school, teachers, educators, and student teacher. It is built considering the whole teacher's life cycle, that is from time student teacher enrolled in teacher education institute to after they retire as a teacher. So the whole life cycle of the teacher is considered and taken into account while building DIKSHA. Okay, the platform aims to provide teacher training courses and teaching resources like lesson plans and concept videos, worksheets which are linked to the curriculum. Okay, it is also has the assessment for teachers to find out their strength, areas of weakness. So it is a customizable platform where a teacher can connect with the student and other teacher community. Some of the other features of DIKSHA portal are displayed here. You can go through it. Apart from DIKSHA, there are many e-learning initiatives that are taken up by the government. Let us see one of them one by one. Let first take a Vidyan allows a donation or contribution of e-learning resources for school education by experts, private bodies, and educational bodies. The next one is e-Padasala app, web portal that can be used to get audio and video content of NCRT and is available in different languages. Also, this is the second initiative. The third one is Shiksha Vani, is a radio show of CBSE which is used by learners of grade 9 to 12. It contains more than 430 pieces of audio content for all subjects. The last important one is Vyam, that is a steady webs of active learning for young aspiring mind, offers an integrated platform for online courses at affordable cost to all citizens, mainly enterprise sections of our society. Integrated platform online course which offers a quality education on various subjects from school students to UG students to postgraduates. These are some of the e-learning initiatives taken up by the government. That's all regarding this discussion. We saw the important features of DIKSHA and we also saw some of the e-learning initiatives taken by government. Now with this, let us conclude this discussion. Take up the next news article. Look at this data point article. It provides us some data about particulate matter pollution in the world, associated health complication. See, the data was sourced from Air Quality Life Index 2023. It's released recently. So in our discussion, we will first see the basics about Air Quality Life Index. We will try to understand the data provided in the article. Now let us start with the Air Quality Life Index. The Air Quality Life Index is an air pollution update. It is being produced and released by the Energy Policy Institute, which is located at the University of Chicago, USA. Basically, the air quality life index measures the impact of particulate pollution on the life expectancy. To put it in simple word, the air quality life index measures the how particulate matter pollution affects the lifespan of the people. Here the particulates are nothing but very small particles of a substance that are produced. When such substance is burned, they travel across the atmosphere and cause air pollution. If humans are exposed to high levels of particulate matter while breathing, it causes a variety of health complications like lung disease, high blood pressure, and so on. This in turn reduces the lifespan of the people. This is exactly what is measured by the Air Quality Life Index. That is how particulate matter pollution affects the life expectancy of the people. Now coming to the 2023 Air Quality Index. First of all, note that 2023 index is based on the study conducted in 2021. In 2023 index, Bangladesh was stepped rank list highest particulate matter 2.5 pollution of around 73 microgram per meter cube. India is placed in the second place with particulate matter 2.5 pollution of around 58.7 microgram per meter cube. The Nepal and Pakistan have occupied the third and the fourth place respectively. See, in India, the particulate matter 2.5 levels have risen by around 9.5% from the 2021 level, due to which this India loses 5 to 3 years of life expectancy due to particulate matter law. Okay, now having understood the basics, let us understand the data provided in the article. According to the data point, many countries have failed to meet the World Health Organization's guidelines on reducing particulate matter 2.5, the pollution. World Health Organization guideline advises the country to maintain particulate matter 2.5 pollution below 5 microgram per meter cube. But in many countries, particulate matter 2.5 pollution is still high. So the data says that particulate pollution would probably reduce the global life expectancy by 2.3 years. Currently global life expectancy is around 73.3 years. So if the particulate matter 2.5 pollution is not reduced by the global efforts, the particulate matter 2.5 pollution alone will reduce the global life expectancy to 71 years from the current 73.3 years. Okay, apart from this data point also highlights the particulate pollution in South Asia. According to the Air Quality Life Index data, particulate pollution in South Asia surged by 9.7% from 2013 to 2021. So it is estimated that the particulate pollution will reduce the life expectancy in South Asia region by an additional 6 months. This is the general data provided in the data point. Apart from this, the data point also provides some specific data through some charts. Now we will try to understand the one by one. Look at the first chart. Here the chart shows that annual particulate matter 2.5 concentration in the top 25 polluted countries. The top 4 countries are Bangladesh, India, Nepal and Pakistan. According to the data, around 22.9% of the global population lives in the most polluted countries in the world. See, China is performing well due to its success in reducing particulate pollution. In 2014, China took policy initiatives to combat pollution, through which it has ultimately reduced the particulate pollution. Now coming to the chart 2, this chart shows the top 5 threats to life expectancy in India. According to the Air Quality Life Index 2023, India was the second most polluted country in the world in 2021. So in India, particulate pollution is the greatest threat to human health in 2021. The particulate pollution in India is around 58.7 microgram per meter cube. It exceeded the World Health Organization guidelines by more than 10 times. Due to increase in the particulate pollution, the average Indian resident is said to lose 5.3 years of life expectancy. In contrast to cardiovascular diseases, reduce the average Indian's life expectancy by about 4.5 years, while child and maternal malnutrition reduces it by 1.8 years. From this data, we can observe that particulate matter 2.5 pollution is the largest threat to life expectancy in our country. Now moving on to chart 3, this chart shows that most polluted states in India and the potential loss of life is pollution levels do not meet the World Health Organization guidelines. According to the data, Delhi is the most polluted city. So around 18 million people living in Delhi could lose 11.9 years of life expectancy. If current pollution levels persist, Delhi is followed by other North Indian states like Haryana, Bihar and so on. Now coming to the final chart, this chart shows the annual average particulate matter 2.5 concentration in India, particularly in northern plains and in other regions. See, northern plains, which is home to over 38.9% of India's population, is the most polluted regions in India. The northern plain includes the states and union territories of Bihar and Chandigarh, Delhi, Haryana. In the northern plains, the average resident is said to lose about 8 years of life expectancy if pollution level persists. The data also shows that the pollution has spread to other part of the country over the last 2 decades. For example, since 2000 in Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, the particulate pollution has surged by about 76.8%, 78.5% respectively. This causes an additional 1.8 years to 2.3 years 2 to 3 years loss of life expectancy in Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh compared to 2000 level. Now from all this data we conclude that Indian government should act more proactively to reduce the particulate matter pollution in our country. Otherwise the pollution could cause serious health complications to the people, which will ultimately end up in reducing the life expectancy of our country. The government should formulate the rational policies and strict rules to reduce the particulate matter pollution in our country. This would bring some long-term positive impacts. Now, how is this data point important to our examination? See, the difference between the good candidate who clears the mains examination and who is not able to clear the mains examination is in the data provided in the answers. If you find time, check out the topper's answer paper, which you can find in the internet. One thing you common among all the toppers paper is that they substantiate their point using a data. Only by substantiating your point with the data will help you get ahead among your competitors. So we discussed so much data in this article. You can use all this data in your answers. By using this data in your answers and substantiating your points, you can get about 1 to 2 marks high in each questions compared to competitors. If you add 1 mark in each question for one paper, you will add up around 20 marks. So your entire GS mark will get a jump of around 80. This will help you clear the mains examination, and it will also help you give a confident interview, and it will help you clear the examination. So this is why this article and the point we discussed are important for our examination. Okay, now with this, let us conclude this discussion and take up the next news article. Look at this news science article. This is from yesterday's newspaper. The article is conveying the result of a study published in Nature Medicine about preeclampsia. This study explores the potential use of liquid biopsy approach to detect the preeclampsia in early stages. So in our discussion we shall know some important points about preeclampsia. First of all, preeclampsia is a serious medical condition that occurs during pregnancy, mostly occurs after 20th week of pregnancy. It is also sometimes called toxemia or pregnancy induced hypertension. Preeclampsia can be life threatening for both the mother and the unborn baby. If it is left untreated, the exact cause of preeclampsia is not well understood. It is believed to involve problems with the placental and blood vessels that supply it. Now we will see the symptoms that affects the preeclampsia. One of the primary indicators of preeclampsia is a sudden increase in the blood pressure. This high blood pressure condition is called hypertension. Next one is preeclampsia often leads to leakage of protein into urine. This condition is called proteinuria. This can be detected using a urine test, and increased protein levels indicate kidney damage, which is a common complication associated with preeclampsia. Next is swelling. Mainly swelling in the hands and face is also a common symptoms of preeclampsia. This swelling is due to liquid retention and fluid retention, and it is also known as edema. And other symptoms of preeclampsia include severe headache, visual disturbance such as blurred vision, abdominal pain, nausea, vomiting and shortness of breath. Now, who has the highest risk of getting preeclampsia? Preeclampsia, as we all know, is a pregnancy specific disorder, but some people have higher risk factors of preeclampsia include history of high blood pressure, first in pregnancies, multiple pregnancies, and certain medical conditions like diabetes or kidney disease. Now these are some important points about preeclampsia. Now let us come back to this study mentioned in the news article. New liquid biopsy approach was created to predict the preeclampsia in early stages. This method detects the DNA methylation changes in the blood that are associated with preeclampsia. This approach could be used to identify the risk of preeclampsia in early stages of pregnancy so that they can be treated with aspirin. This model was able to predict 72% of cases of early preeclampsia. Here note that preeclampsia affects both the mother and baby. If it is not managed correctly, it may progress to eclampsia, which is more severe form of condition which can be life-threatening. So, early detection and appropriate medical care are essential for managing preeclampsia and reducing the associated risks. So, this new finding is of importance. Okay, so that's all regarding this discussion. In this discussion, we saw few points about the disease called preeclampsia. With this, we have come to the end of the news article discussion session. Now let us take up the prelims practice questions. We have 5 practice questions. Today let us see the first question. This based on our DIKSHA platform discussion. 4 options are given. We have to find which one of the following is not offered by DIKSHA. Okay. See, the correct answer here is option C. Students at real-time students attendance tracking. This is not the part of the DIKSHA platform. So once again the correct answer is here is C. Moving on to the next question. The preeclampsia is a medical condition categorized by elevated BP and high levels of protein in urine. It is specifically seen in which of the following groups from our discussion? We know that correct answer here is option D, pregnant woman. Okay, moving on to the third question. Which of the following options best describes the term Atlantification? C. The correct answer here is option C. The influence of warmer Atlantic waters over the Arctic Ocean. This is Atlantification. Moving on to the next question. This is a 2-statement question about by-election in India. Let us take up the first statement. In India, the by-election to Lok Sabha should be conducted within from the data occurrence of the vacancy. The statement is incorrect because as we saw in our discussion, that section 151 of A of RPA Act 1951 says that by election to Lok Sabha conducted any legislative body should be conducted within 6 months from the date of occurrence of the vacancy. So statement 1 is incorrect. Now moving on to the second statement. It is not mandatory for the election commission to conduct by election if the remainder of the term of the vacant seat is less than 1 year. The statement is correct. In the discussion you are asking the correct answer, so the answer is option B. Moving on to the last question. This is the 3-statement question about air quality life index. 3 statements given. We have to find how many options are correct. Look at the first statement. It is being released annually by Switzerland based air quality technology company called IQAIR. This statement is incorrect. This report is released by Energy Policy Institute, which is located in University of Chicago, USA. So statement 1 is incorrect. Now moving to the second statement. China has topped the 2023 ranking with highest particulate pollution in the world. The statement is incorrect. As we saw in the discussion, Bangladesh has topped the ranking with the highest particulate matter 2.5 pollution. Bangladesh is followed by India. Nepal is in 3rd place and Pakistan is in 4th place. China is performing actually well due to the steps it started taking in the 2014 period. So statement 2 here is incorrect. Moving on to the third statement. As per the 2023 index, India is continuously witnessing a decline in particulate matter pollution. This statement is also incorrect. Actually, the particulate matter pollution in India has been on constant rise. This has not been declining, so the statement 3 is also incorrect. Since all the statement given here are incorrect, the answer here is option D. One of the mains question based on the today's discussion are displayed here. Interested aspirants can write your answers and post it in your comment section. If you like the video, like, comment and share with your friends for your updates regarding UPSC preparation. Subscribe to UPSC IAS channel and thanks for listening. Thank you.